So, yeah, I'm Per, and what I'll be talking about is FaST Agile, or just FaST, and it's about delivering on the Agile promise. So this is a 30-minute session. I'm normally using 1.5 hours for this. So I'll try not to let it be too much of drinking out of the fire hose. But it's going to be fast-paced, and what I'm trying to actually achieve within these 30 minutes is for you at least to have a very tiny introduction to FaST. What is it? I've handed out a couple of pieces of paper. So that is, if you can't see what's happening up here, there is a, something that you can pull closer to your nose, and then there is a chance at least that you can. And my hope is that after the session that you'll at least have one idea, or perhaps even a mind worm that's going around in regards to there is so much much other ways of working Agile than just Scrum, Kanban. We have one of the champions of less inside Europe. Yes, thank you, Jürgen. So yeah, have an open mind, and hopefully you will end up doing stuff so much better, or at least being interested in it. Yeah, that's me. A lot of stuff. We don't have time for that. So how many, with a show of hands, is or has been working Agile in some way? Yes, that was the right audience. Thank you. So how many has been working Scrum, Kanban, less? Yeah, good. How many have heard of FaST? Yeah, oh, nice. And how many has been working in a FaST collective? Yes, one. Fantastic. You're the expert, so when I'm in doubt, I'll just come and call you. No, and that's also, as this is fast-paced, go into Paris 12:45. Anyone that has more questions, we will be answering them. Me and Marketa. I hope that was pronounced correctly. Okay, so how many was here this morning with Dave? Yes. Well, you probably, yeah, I'm fast at creating new slides. So that's from this morning. You will recognize both Fred and Dave on them. So were you sitting there wondering, well, what is it actually that he's talking about, and how do I do that? Well, there is one fantastic answer to that. That's just going fast. Use the method and the framework that I will be introducing to you in a short while. FaST is an abbreviation for Fluid Adaptive Scaling Technology, and I'll be digging into what is that actually. But in short, it's a way for people to self-organize around work that scales and descales. You've heard that probably over the past 20 years if you've been along as long as Jürgen and I. But yeah, we've seen that, we've heard that, that was the promise. But it's been kind of hard delivering on that. I'm not sure if any of you seen it in the full scale, but at least there was some really good intentions behind. And also to sum everything up at the bottom, it's an ultra-lightweight enabler for adaptive and emergence through minimal structures and fluid teaming. If you're not really sure what that is, well, I will be digging into that. So, how many of you have heard this Agile is dead? Yes. And over the years, it's actually been louder and louder and louder. And perhaps, yeah, some are still squeaking and peeping around that. The thing is, and that's from one of the industry, I would say, don't call her elderly, but, well, the thing is that the voice has been becoming louder and louder. But one of the reasons is that when we had the early innovators, or the innovators and the early adopters, they were, okay, now we know that, and we've done it. So yeah, Agile is now dead because, well, I know what it is, and I'm actually moving forward. We are probably currently around the late majority or the laggards, which is why the voices are the highest. But as Diana Larsen is saying, Agile isn't dead. Agile actually won. Yeah, Per, but I don't like it. Yeah, that's one thing. We don't always win in the way that we prefer to win. So, but what is it that we're doing after?
We should have this fixed now.
Yes, let's try it out.
There you go. And I gave you a couple extra minutes.
Oh,
on the clock,
fantastic.
yeah?
So now I need to figure out how this goes on. Did it work? Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Okay. Let's try it out then. Yeah, so as Diana is saying, well, Agile 1, Agile 1, so is it, you know this bittersweet win that we sometimes have. It's kind of like the same with Agile. It's not how I imagined it, or when I was an innovator, how I really would like the world to change. Yeah, but if we're looking forward, what is it that we could be doing? And we were at Agile 2024 and asked a lot of the people there, Quinton that has created FaST, Diana, which is, yeah, would say everyone knows her, and then myself, as humble as I am. So we asked people, Agile has won, and how can we tell? Any of this resonates? Yeah, there's a few nodding here. So the thing is, you're all working Agile, or at least 95% of the audience here. So we have one. What is the next step? Well, that's not yet. So which Agile promise have you most seldom not seen brought to life? It should be not in there. That's a typo. So pick up your phone. I hope it's working. I've been testing this. This is my first Mentimeter, so I am really hoping that it kind of is. I'm really hoping that it kind of is. Can you put in something? This is just for inspiration. So try to think about, well, I was promised this, kind of like before the birthday, I made all of this long list of thoughts that I would like to have. And when the birthday came, there were some of the things that I was promised that probably didn't happen. So let me take a look. How do I do this? Chrome, window. This one is it? Yes. Yes, now something is happening. Nope, you can't see that. How do I share that? Bum, bum, bum. And as we are moving on. Nope. This is how we are losing time, Beining. Doesn't matter. Okay, I'll share that afterwards. And we're not back. So now we are. Okay, but I'll read out what actually happened there. Self-organization, both with a C and with an S. So we have both Americans and Europeans, and a lot of other stuff. I'll be sharing that at the end. So there is a lot of the promises that we haven't been seeing. So what is the solution? You guessed, it's FaST. What is FaST? The acronym, Fluid Adaptive Scaling Technology. The F is about the fluid work. So how good are we at fluidly teaming up and redistributing, reallocating the people on the team to actually do stuff? How good are we at fluidly changing the structures with so the self-organization part, about how we are actually being fantastic at getting work solved. It's about the fluid leadership. So there's not someone with a lot of stars that's saying, you need to do this, you need to do that. No, it's emergent depending on where it is that we're moving towards. There's fluid roles. Sometimes I'm a developer, sometimes I could be testing, sometimes I'm putting on the leadership role of saying, I think we should be moving in this direction. And then, of course, there's the fluid scaling and the fluid descaling. So you can add people to a to a FaST collective, and you can actually get them to scale up and scale down. And I've seen that happen with a lot of people. The A is for adaptive. So, and it's adaptive in so many ways. One of them is, well, if you think of complex adaptive systems, one of the best examples is probably a crowd of people. That's always a complex adaptive system. Could also be, anyone seen, in Denmark, we call it black sun, where all the sparrows or swallows are kind of moving around and creating these fantastic shapes. They're moving around with, I think it's 7 very simple rules to avoid banging into each other. But it's actually, you can't predict how they'll be moving next time because everyone is aware of everyone else. And one of the things with FaST, it's very little prescriptive. This is why a lot of people are saying, nah, this won't work. It'll never work. But be the judge of that by yourself when we've been through it. S is for scaling? No. T is for technology. Anyone heard of open space technology? Yes, 2, 3, 5. You just experienced it. So it's around a lot of people that are gathering around something. This is topics that we would like to discuss. But if you think about, well, as a company or as a big team, we would actually like to get this done, improve our customer service system, or develop this new way this new system, or creating an app. We had a fantastic chat yesterday about how to create apps. So one of the things is if we're moving towards the same value, the same direction that we think is value-giving, well, what is it that we can do it? And the core of FaST is actually open space. So we can add, could we add 60 more people to actually work on the unconference that we just did? Of course we could. Could we remove 60 of the people at the conference and still get value out of it? Of course we can. So that structure, the intelligence that we as a system are having is just fantastic. And for those of you, well, we just saw the rules. Notice that there's a new one. Wherever it happens is the right place. That's come and ask me. I'll give you the story. I don't have time for that right now. So this is FaST, and you've all had a slice of paper. I'm from Denmark. It's close to Scotland, so I wouldn't give you a whole A4. You just got an A5. That's the way that I'm cheap. So how is it that we're actually getting FaST to work? Well, one of the ways is that we have some things to set up, and then we have a method that we repeat, and then we have actually a framework element, and I'll just be stepping through those 6 sentences in 6 minutes with you. And when you have the paper, you can do it for, well, all your colleagues and perhaps even your mom and dad, if they have an interest in that. So what is the first thing we do? And this is kind of like, you know, Jackson 5, A, B, C, E, C, S, 1, 2, 3. Okay. It's kind of the same. So the ABC is how we set up things before we start. So first we need to create a collective, and that's just declaring, yes, now we're a collective. And perhaps create a collective agreement. The collective agreement are the rules on how we are working. And one of the most important things there is to decide as a collective, as a big group, how is it that we are agreeing on stuff, and what do we do when we are ending up having a conflict with each other. And you can go back home and do that with your team right away without doing FaST in any way. The B is about defining a big picture. So where are we heading? Is it something, is it a new app? Is it something that we think will revolutionize the customer service system that we're working on, or whatever it is? So kind of having a vision, but with some tangible things that we would really like to deliver. And the last part, oh, I was too fast, happens, is that to visualize work. So also taking the big picture, breaking it down in smaller pieces. If some of you haven't heard about discovery trees, take a look at Dave and Stephen Quo. They have this Miro talk, I think it's 45 minutes or something like that, where they're actually talking about discovery trees. That's one of my best ways of showing emergent work in a really fantastic way. And it works in Miro. Okay, so now we're set up. What happens then? Well, we start with a 2 days cadence, a 2-day experiment. Remember what Dave was also talking about this morning. Everything needs to be an experiment. So let's go out and do an experiment. We start out with 2 days. Could be 2 days, could be 4 days, could be whatever we think that is valuable. The recent collective I've been working on was a 2 and a 3 day cadence, so 2-day value cycle, then a 3-day, then a 2-day, then a 3-day. That worked well for them. Again, it's not prescriptive. And again, notice, this is a flow system. So we are not supposed, it's kind of like Kanban, we're not supposed to have anything delivered, finished, and ready to ship as we have in Scrum. That is a time-boxed system. So one very big difference between the two there. So we start out with the product manager. So this is number 1. You notice the number. So the product manager reiterates the big picture. Where is it that we would like to be heading? So my hope is that we can actually go in this direction, and then it could be the app or the customer relationship system or whatever. And based on that, then someone from the collective is standing up and saying, oh, thank you so much, product owner. Based on that, I think we should sit down and do this part about the database. And another one could say, okay, oh yeah, and the database girl would then say, I'll be in this room. Then the next, you kind of see the picture of the marketplace. So, and the next person would say, oh, I think we should go out and have a chat with some of the real customers so we actually know what to deliver to them. And I'll be in this room, and so on and so forth. And that's the way, in FaST, we are both doing product discovery and product delivery. And now I'm coming with a statement that some of you will get totally irritated with me. Scrum and the way that we've been doing Agile is primarily focused on product delivery. So it's about how do we deliver what we want, but not thinking about is it the right thing. And I'm aware, some of you can come and beat me afterwards, I'm aware the intention back from Agile, back from when we started, was that it should cope with both elements. But what we've seen over the years is actually that it's more product delivery that we're focused on. Marty Kagan has a fantastic book called Inspired. Start there. The Build Trap by Melissa Perry. Look me up. There is so much good to read. And the thing is, at one point we have filled out the WIP limit for the team. So what happens then? Well, then everyone could be putting up their names. I'll be in this room. And why is that important? Well, if I don't know where Jürgen is, then I at least can go to the board and see, he's over in Rome. So I can at least say, Jürgen, we need your help in here. Could you please come and could you fluidly move over here and then actually help us with that? So that's one of the reasons. I've seen teams that are not doing that. I've seen teams that are doing it. So do whatever. Again, it's not prescriptive. What happens then? Then it could be that the product manager is saying, well, based on the direction that I wanted to see, I'm not really sure how this fits in. Please explain it to me. And then people will explain it. People will then go into the small teams that they've broken out into, and then they will plan how are we working for the next couple of days, and also resolve dependencies. If we've heard that, oh yeah, you're doing something with the database and we're actually doing something with middleware, so perhaps we should be in agreement on when we're doing what along with each other. And then teams are doing the work. And sometimes we're actually delivering a finished product that just is shipped. And whatever it is that we're doing, everything is work. So everything that goes on the board is being done. Everything that's not on the board is not being done. At the end of the 2-day cycle, the value cycle, well, We then start, or we have then made some discoveries and we've created some value, and then nope, that's the wrong direction. Then what happens then? We start the FaST meeting. And the FaST meeting, so the FaST meeting part 1, FaST meeting part 2, and FaST meeting part 3, you can see it in the picture, is taking around 15 or 30 minutes in that area. And it's happening with 20 people, with 7 people, with 65 people. That was around 30 minutes that happened. And what are we doing here when we're synchronizing the collective? We are, well, sharing what have we learned and what is the progress that's made. We then go into the next value cycle, and the product manager is then saying, thank you so much. I'm so happy about this. And based on what you're saying, I still think we should be doing this, or we should be doing something else. We will be clearing the board, and then people will then step up, volunteer as team stewards and saying, yeah, I think we should continue doing this work, or I'll put this work on hold because based on where you're saying we should be going, we probably don't need that yet. So it's all about the collective intelligence in regards to how we self-organize, self-allocate around the work, how we are distributing, how we're creating value. And some people are sitting here, I can see it in your eyes, this is scary, Per. How do I make sure that we're actually delivering what is making most value? Well, that is the only one inside the collective that has has one role, you could say, one responsibility. That's the product manager. So he's kind of like the product owner in Scrum, at least what Scrum was intended to. But if you ask a product manager today, person in product, they'll say, don't call me a product owner. That's just a marionette for some other people that are pulling me around. But think of someone that's actually responsible for the product. What else is there? This element down here, improve the system, improve yourself. That's about reflecting and adapting. In Scrum, we would probably call it retrospectives. But you can do that in so many other ways than just sitting down in a 1.5 meeting deciding these are the 3 things that we'll improve over the next week or 2, and then after a week or 2 we will jump in and say, yeah, we didn't do anything about that. Anyone seen, heard of? Yeah, that's nice. I could hear it from the laughter. My favorite is actually Woody Sewell's Turn Up the Good. Every day use 2 or 5 minutes, have a cup of coffee or just discuss on the team what went well, and how can we get more of that? Simple as that, all the crap disappears. And it does. Okay, so there's a lot of framework elements. It doesn't say how you should be doing forecasting or product management or having management innovation and stuff like that. Just do it the way that you're normally doing. Again, it's not prescriptive. If you want me to tell you how to do it, I'm a hired consultant, so come and pay me a buckload of money, and I'll tell you what to do. No, of course not, but yeah, that's what you can do. And then we have some FaST values and principles and some pillars, what we believe in, how we behave, and what FaST is actually built on. That was FaST in almost 6 minutes. Last thing, some of you have perhaps heard about FaST and FaST Agile. So FaST is kind of what I've explained, the method and the framework element. If you're saying FaST Agile, well, then you also, beside what was just described here, or have to adhere to whatever is inside the Agile manifesto. So you have to deliver something every second month. Could you do fast waterfall, Per? I've been asked a couple of times. Of course you could. Would it make sense in my opinion? Probably not, but you could, beside doing this, have a lot of people that are doing a lot of analysis and design, and then doing the analysis over, and so on, continue and not delivering anything. But yeah, doesn't make sense to me. Yes. So I have 7 minutes left. Yes. So a tiny bit from real life, how have I been doing this? I've been doing this in 2 collectives. You remember the curve, the curve of innovation that I was just showing. I won't go there. Yeah, people will become epileptic if I'm zooming too much. But one of the things is FaST is still kind of for innovators and early adopters. So some of you that are sitting here struggling could be an indication that perhaps you're in the early majority, late majorities, or even laggards. But this is solving a lot of the stuff that the developers hate. I hate sitting in a 3-hour meeting looking at how to refine work, because we need to do some work before actually knowing what to do. So that is one of the solutions. And this comes from a lot of the old extreme programming principles. So a lot of the people that is finding this totally amazing has an XP background. So you can see a lot about how we were talking about swarming back then. But this is what I've done recently with a single team. And people were asking me, well, Per, how is it that we do this in a single team? So if we're a Scrum team that wants to do FaST, how do we do that? Kind of like how Scrum was coming up back 20 years ago, or an extreme programming. And I'm saying, yeah, you can do it like that. Have you ever tried it, Per? No. So I found a customer that would let me do it. So now I've tried it. What did we do? Because we had to do, the rest of the company was running SAFe, and within SAFe they were running Scrum, and within that we then implemented this 2-week cadence with the 4 value cycles. And it works by magic. What we did, I asked the team, when would you like us to sink in? So what I'm asking there is actually how long should our value cycle be? And what people were saying, Tuesday and Thursday, that is what we would like. And then I was thinking, oh, we can't do that. We have to have the same cadence. That's one of my oldest learnings. Of course we can. People are intelligent. Of course we can have a 2-day and a 3-day. It's a flow system. So we just work for 2 days, and then we share what we've learned and what what progress we've made, and then we work for 3 days. Same. This was a distributed team, so we actually added coffee to check in. So the people that were sitting back home, not talking with anyone all day, had a chance to talk with people. What they did on this team, it was an infrastructure team. So they were actually both doing individual work. They were pairing a lot, but also having sessions on mob programming, as some of you heard it referred to, ensemble programming, or as Woody Sewell currently referred to it as software teaming. So it's all about collaboration. And then we had, a safe 3-month cycle, so those were actually just the interfaces when we needed to have something ready. How did we do that? We just put it up on the board. So when we are going into getting, becoming ready for the next PI planning, that's just stuff that ends up going onto the board. So we kind of have the ability, at least so much better than I've seen with other teams and the bigger groups doing safe. Well, it's just work. So everyone, the collective intelligence says, yes, now we are ready for doing that. How to get going? Yeah, you can't read that within the next 4 minutes. But some of you, a hackathon, start taking all the people that you have, create a hackathon, and when you're finished with that, don't make it into a competition, but use the FaST rule. When you're finished with that, you say, okay, who liked that? Come over here, and the rest of you just go back in your old ways of doing it. That would be one way. Try to put in some value cycles in a 2-week sprint. Try to replace product backlog refinement with real work. Then the Scrum Master saying, oh, we can't do that, then we don't know what we're doing. Well, if we are looking at emergent work, looking at what pops up, and always have an idea of how big it is, then we actually can. If we're working individuals, running with our with blindfold on, then it's probably kind of hard. Yeah, a lot of other stuff there. Get buy-in from those involved. That's my the FaST collectives that has collapsed over time is typically because those in charge didn't understand it. So when the protector of the bubble could be a CIO or could be a Scrum Master or an Agile coach, When they were gone, it imploded and they went back to doing stuff in a definitely less productive way. So get those involved and just go do it. Try to follow the mechanics, trust the process, and don't change it because someone on the team says, yeah, I hate that, I don't like it. Ask them what it is that they don't like. And again, that's a contradiction to what I just said. Don't be rigid. Treat it as an experiment, back to what Dave was also talking about this morning. And replace the stuff that doesn't really work. This is John Spencer that created that. He has a fantastic YouTube video. But the thing is, think about cooperation versus collaboration. Cooperation is when we are individually, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, and then we meet up perhaps every 2 weeks and say, yeah, now we've done something and we can demo it, but we're not collaborating around it. Collaborating is what we do when we're pairing and when we are software teaming. This is what I did. I asked 15 questions. I'll have to find where I can post my slides, but what I'm asking there is, for instance, well, dear team, how would you like for us to solve work? Is it time-boxed? Is it flow-based? And depending on that, the team actually decided, are we going to do Kanban? Are we going to do FaST? So get the team to own the process instead of someone with a name of Agile coach or Scrum Master. So, and what I did, as you noticed over here, we have 7, 9 people. So what I did, we took them one at a time online. This is from Miro. And then everyone was kind of moving. So instead of someone that's as loud as me is sitting there, yeah, we need to have the daily scrum at 9:30. We can see there was one that liked that. The remaining ones would actually like to have it at 9. So the team decided. Ask those questions to your team. This is how we did it in Miro online. I'll be happy to share that if you come into the ask anything about FaST. Then we have an agenda. This is kind of like the text version of what you have on your small board. And then whatever we are deciding that we need to improve the system, we also have that visible. And the big picture, which for this customer was team backlog on a feature level. Last slide. I managed, almost. So ask anything about FaST in Paris. Show up if you have FaST experience. We are 2 here. So we'll try to answer whatever. And the thing here is that I'm not an expert, but I do a lot of experiments with a lot of related stuff, and it's actually just go do it. And even more tangible stuff, read the FaST guide, join the FaST Slack channel. There's all of the practitioners in the world are more or less in there. So fantastic people. We have an online session, Woody Sul and I, on Monday. It's free. I think there's still 35 seats, and if we run over, we probably can expand it. Not really sure. And connect with me.